This week on Maker Update, a TV for lazy people, a Lego Crickit Rover, milk jug skulls, an EL Nixie clock, a boat, a box, a rock tumbler, LED holders, and Tinkercad's new fusion feature. Hey, I'm Donald Bell and welcome to another Maker Update. I hope you guys are doing great. I have what might be the most project-packed episode of Maker Update yet here to share with you, so get comfy and let's start things off with the project of the week. Do you ever lie down on the couch and wish your TV could turn sideways to match up? Well, mikeasaurus has solved the problem with this remote-controlled motorized TV mount. Using laser-cut plywood gears, a 12-volt high-torque motor, and an articulating wall mount, Mike has cooked up this TV stand that can rotate your TV in either direction using a simple remote control. Of course, if another person is also watching TV, you're probably going to have to fight over the best angle. You can find a link to Mike's full Instructable down in the show notes. It's time for some news. This past week we learned that Printrbot, one of the pioneers of the desktop 3D printing world, is closing up. A goodbye note from the founder Brooke Drum on the Printrbot website points to low sales as the reason for closing. He also notes a new site that will sell replacement parts for existing customers. Still, it's a bummer to see Printrbot close. I've got a lot of other projects to share. Over on Adafruit, the Ruiz brothers have this guide for a Crickit-based Lego robot. By combining a servo, some inexpensive motors, a Playground Express board, and a Crickit breakout board, you have this relatively inexpensive, programmable Rover that you can dress up with all kinds of Lego bricks. What makes this such a big deal is that the Lego Mindstorm's equivalent of this is a $350 kit. Using this system, you can use the Microsoft MakeCode drag and drop blocks to code your robot, in addition to Python or Arduino. Plus, you get support for NeoPixels, capacitive touch, and speaker output. There are a lot of educational Rover bots out there, but with the price, features, and Lego compatibility here, I'd be surprised if this one doesn't get some traction. Skulls! Halloween is coming, and if you need skulls in bulk, Jason shows you how to make them out of old milk jugs. Using a Resin Master skull, some scissors, and a heat gun, you can shape the milk jug plastic onto the contours of the skull underneath it. The real trick is painting them when they're done so that you can get an authentic look, but Jason walks you through some great tips on that too. Gosse Adema has this detailed guide on making a Nixie tube style clock using EL wire and a 3D printed template. The build involves 40 electroluminescent wires controlled by a single Arduino, but with some substantial electronics in between. There are actually 3 different versions of this design documented in the Instructable, 1 using relays and 2 using transistors. But no matter which way you go, it's an intimidating build, both in terms of electronics and winding and routing all of those EL wires. Still, the payoff is super cool, and unlike a Nixie tube, you can scale this thing up really big. For something easier to accomplish in a weekend, gzumwalt has an Instructable on creating this Wi-Fi controlled toy boat. The design uses 2 geared DC motors, a cheap motor controller, a LiPo battery, and an Arduino compatible ESP32 board. Like all of Greg's work, the 3D print design is incredible. You have to do a little extra work to glue and seal up the boat to make it watertight, but it looks like a fun payoff. Over on Thingiverse, 3D Printing World has this ingenious secret puzzle box. There are 12 parts to this design, plus a pen spring and some super glue that you'll need to provide. Considering how complicated it is to open up, it actually looks like a relatively approachable build and a fun gift to give to someone. This particular design has butterflies on it, but a blank version is also included that you can dress up however you like. Finally, JonathanLundstrom posted this 3D printed rock tumbler great for polishing up metal 3D prints. The design uses some threaded rod, 4 bearings, and a 12-volt DC motor. The results look really clean and give his bronze prints a nice shine. I also imagine it works well for polishing rocks. Now it's time for some tips. Tiffany Tseng made this free web app called Stencilfy that makes stencil-ready versions of any text using any font. You can download the result as an SVG file and load it into your laser cutter or 3D printer. Speaking of free web apps, Tinkercad has added a new Send to Fusion 360 feature. I'm a proud Tinkercad user, but there are definitely times when you run up against a limitation, and it's nice to be able to bounce your design over to Fusion, bevel some edges, smooth out your model for 3D printing, or do a fancy render. Barb Noren from Barb Makes Things has a video up on 5 ways to hold LEDs onto a coin cell From tape to magnets to clever 3D printed holders, there's bound to be one here that surprises you. The latest Bob Clagett Bits video goes over different types of wood varnish and their best uses. I always learn something from Bob's videos. Cool Tools has my video review up for the Bucket Boss parachute bag. I've been using this bag for almost a year now to hold and organize my screws, and it's been great. There's a link to the review in the show notes along with a video showing how I organize it. Over on Theodore Gray's blog, I saw a post on this CNC wall printer he came across in China. It's essentially a 4-color inkjet printer on its side for printing ads and murals directly on walls. Apparently you can buy these things for around $3,000, but it doesn't look like it would be impossible to make your own. Magpie issue 72 is out and available as a free download. This month's feature is on AI projects. And the winners of last week's book giveaway are Jonathan Whitaker, Panther the Cat, and Fernando Rodriguez Longi. They're all getting a copy of Make's Tips and Tales from the Workshop book, an outstanding maker reference that everyone should check out. Maker fairs. This weekend we've got Dayton, Ohio, and Tokyo, Japan. If neither of those are near you, though, you should check the map at makerfair.com to find out when your local fair is happening. And that does it for this week's project-packed show. Be sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, or leave a comment, and you can subscribe to the Maker Update email list to get these show notes emailed out to you automatically every week, along with bonus projects that I couldn't fit into the episode. And just a reminder, I'm not a Make employee. I do this show because I love it, and if you appreciate me doing it, you can buy me a coffee using the Buy Me a Coffee link down here. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.